Hello. Hey, I'm here. I am here. All right. Do I have some caregivers on here? Let me know if you're a caregiver. Let me know if you're a family caregiver. Who are you caring for? Let me know if you coming on board. You do it again. You do it again. Hey, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I'm still coming, showing up. Yes. You got to keep showing up when nobody show up. It's for the long haul. I know some people can't do it. It's a long haul situation here. And everybody has to do what they got to do. Yep. Do it again. Yep. You do it again. Yeah. How you doing today? Today, how you doing? Hey, Aretha, how are you today? How you doing? You got to work today? This is Wednesday. How you doing? I hope all is well for you today. Let me see here what they got going on here. Why something didn't show up for me? Do it again. I hope that's not on. Thanks for joining. Oh, here you go. Go pen. All right. I'm going to change this. All right. So we got a flash go. They did that so early. Hi. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I'm just coming on. So if you're on right now, I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate your time. Okay. And so if you're a caregiver, you can put in the comment, you are a caregiver. I am a registered nurse, previous caregiver for my dad. So I'm going to be talking, I'm good and you out here with you. I'm good and you out here with my client. Oh, okay, great. I'm glad you're doing good. Show your progress and with the new effect. What is the new effect? Let me see. Effect. Let's see. Oh, they want me to put that on. Okay. All right. I got my effect on. I'm still doing this community fest thing, and they wanted me to put the new effect on. So I'm gonna go ahead on and play with the game. This is all, this is supposed to be a game on TikTok. However, we on here trying to make coins. We on here doing our own things, establishing business. I'm here to get my gun, baby. So here. All right. Talk to you later. Thank you. Thanks for the heart. Have a good day. It's nice weather in Chicago, so have a good day. Okay. Appreciate you. Appreciate you just coming on. It's always appreciated by me. Okay. Thank you so much. So I'm talking to the caregivers. Yes, I am a registered nurse. This is the eNurse Hub. And today we're going to be talking about, this is going to be a series. I have decided to do a series on caregiving for caregivers. I'm talking about the person that's going to be your caregiver. Okay, so you don't know when you're going to have to be, somebody got to be your caregiver. Also, I'm going to just put this up for a moment. Boom. I hope you can see it. It is my book. It's called The Caregiver Guide. 20 Things You Must Know. All right, so LOL, you too. I will as well. Yes, I wrote a book. I'm going to put it back up again. Okay, for caregivers. we're going to always love our loved ones. You know what I mean? And so when you first become, this is a journey. Being a caregiver is a journey. It's just not that one thing. I'm going to come to the hospital and do this for you, pick up your medicine and do this for you. It is a journey. And if you on your first journey of being someone in your family or your friend or your neighbor or anyone, if you the first time you're going to be their caregiver, it's a journey. It's not a one-hit wonder. You know what I mean? It's not. You have to do a lot being a caregiver. So I'm doing a series, and the series is step 1 to the series. Okay, learning about what's going on. This is step 1, and it's about you learning about what's going on. Thank you for coming on. You want to tap the screen, give hearts, all that stuff, but I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. If you're a caregiver, I would love for you to put caregiver in the comments, whoever you're caring for. Because I know it has not been when I was a caregiver for my dad for over 13 years, it was not easy. No, I had some saving grace because I was a nurse. You know what I mean? So I did have some saving grace. But my thing is, people are out here taking care of their loved ones, and sometimes they do not have any health care experience and unsure about a lot of the medical diagnosis. And the hospital are expecting people to be the providers, to be that person for their loved ones. They are actually dependent on you to be that person. And I just talked to a friend of mine, and his friend unfortunately didn't have family. So his friend he will come and pick his friend up, take his friend with him, and he was an older gentleman. And yesterday 2 days he had not spoken with his friend. And he did a wellness check. He asked the landlord to do a wellness check. You know what happened in that wellness check? He was unalive. They found him in a bed, unalive. Because for one, he didn't have anyone to help him take care of himself. He was dealing with a lot of medical stuff, and he didn't have any family. A lot of us don't want to deal with our family. But when you get sick, you're going to be running back to your family. Because it's the family caregiver that's going to take care of you. You think your bestie or whatever's going to take care of you. They probably start off with that journey. You know what I mean? But it's not going to be a long length of time that they're going to be providing the care for you. You must be able to say, okay, I have someone to take care of you. I'm going to put my book up again. This is my book, The Caregiver Guide, 20 Things You Must Know. Okay? Now, I ain't keeping it up there long because I'm not a TikTok host for selling. But I did put the book up because I know a lot of times if you don't know about caregiving, this is the issue. All right. Thank you guys for joining. If you want to stay here and listen. Stay here and listen, because as I wrote in my book, there are only 4 kinds of people in this world. Those who have been caregivers, those who currently are caregivers, and those who will be a caregiver, and those who will need caregivers. You got to be in, and you're going to be in those, in 1 or 2 of those categories if you on your caregiver journey, if you here on this earth. These are the 4 things that will happen. And it's no guarantee how it's going to happen. I am 63 years old, and I feel the difference. I feel like something's going on, as far as my health is getting better. However, I have to have a caregiver in place. Who am I going to choose to be that person if something happened to me, um, um, something happened to my health, physically, and also with my finances. So, you just have to be able to be that person for other people, for your loved ones. So if you're caring for your loved one and feeling overwhelmed by medical conditions and daily demands, you're not alone. You're not alone in this. Sometimes you might feel alone that you are doing it by yourself and you feel like you're alone doing this as a caregiver, but you are not alone. I want to say that this series that I'm doing is 8 steps to a caregiver journey. The things a caregiver need to know. The things that you also needs to know as who if you're going to establish someone, that main person that's going to be your caregiver. For instance, I have a son and a daughter, and I'm going to say they're going to be 50-50 taking care of me. And we're going to be making some plans as I get older how we want to do this. Because for one thing, thank you, Public Awareness Join. For one thing I want to say is that as your children get older, if you have children and they have a family, if you're an older person, you get sick, what are your expectations for your children? Do you want them to take care of you at their home? Or do you want to stay in your own home and have them to come over to take care of you? These are the things that a lot of times we don't want to talk about. But these are difficult conversations. These are difficult conversations that we don't want to talk about, but you have to talk about difficult conversations. All the time, a lot of times we don't want to mention about unalive. We don't want to mention about any health conditions that we're dealing with. We don't want to tell our family nothing about our health conditions. But as you get older, you must share the caregiver journey. Effective planning. You need effective planning, support, actions. You want to do all of these things to be able to have someone to help you. This is very important. As a nurse, retired nurse, and family caregiver, you're going to be navigating the life after burnout, injuries, or retirement. Discovering how to understand your loved one condition. Plan ahead with clarity and find a community and daily support. So as a caregiver, you have to have a community. You must have, a daily activities that you're going to do for yourself and your loved one. Because, thank you for joining. Because one thing for sure, if you put on your schedule that you are that person caregiver, that you're going to be taking care of them, doing all the things that you're supposed to do for them as a caregiver. Have you learned about being a caregiver? Do you know what a caregiver consists of? You got to learn a role of the caregiver. You're going to say, I'm on my caregiver journey, and I'm going to go to the doctor's office with them, bring them back home, and that's going to be it. No, that ain't how it go. Some people don't understand being a caregiver is more than just taking them to the doctor, dropping them back off. Because now they are dependent on you to do all the things. So learn what's going on first. So we're going to talk about the number 1 because it's 8 tips. It's a series. So it's going to be 8 series to this caregiver journey. And once I give you the 8 series, then you're going to be more. This is for information, educational only. This is not that I'm telling you what to do. This is an information, education only, okay? So just know that to protect myself, okay? So you don't have to figure caregiving. So what I'm going to say to you, you don't have to figure out caregiving alone by yourself. Don't think that you have to do this by yourself. I know sometimes, as me, when I was working in a hospital, especially during COVID, and a lot of times a family come in. I worked in the ER. Then I worked at a long term care facility that did acute care with ventilation patients. And so, and when a patient get on the ventilation machine, usually it's no more than 10 days, because they have to wean you off, because your body get used to being that machine is breathing for you. So your body will get used to that. So that's the reason why they only allow you 10 days on that machine. Okay? And so your family is going to get that speech. We must get them to a certain level to start to wean them off. Okay? So one of the things that I want to say is, you don't have to, when I said don't try to figure it out all on your own, you want to understand the health conditions that your family have. That's so important. Clarify the medical conditions of your loved one, with symptoms, with prognosis, and with treatments. Especially if you don't know anything about your loved one, and then you want to step up to the plate and say, I'm going to be their caregiver. You want to make sure that you are the one, but you also want to clarify the medical conditions and everything. And how you do that? How do you clarify the medical condition? You want to engage with their provider. You want to go to their doctor's appointment with them. Yes, go to their doctor's appointment with them. Ask questions. You want to ask questions. You want to do some research, reliable research. Everything on the internet is not reliable, especially when it comes to medical stuff. But you want to do your research. You want to talk to the provider. You want to know about their health conditions. You want to know what their prognosis is, their treatment plan. All of that is in step 1 of the caregiver journey. And then after that, number 3, build a day-to-day perspective. What routines and challenges to expect? What kind of challenges do you expect when you become a caregiver? What are the day-to-day routines? Are you living with that person? Are you living with that person that you're caring for as a caregiver? Are you that person just going to come over on the weekend? Have you put yourself in that person's home daily? If you're taking care of your mom, your dad, and you decide to move in to take care of them, hey, suddenly, how you doing? Haven't seen you for a while. Are you the person that's going to be coming over daily? Are you going to make sure they get a care? If you don't want to be the primary caregiver doing the things like their activity or daily living, like making sure they're eating, making sure they're taking a bath, all those things, are you going to get a home health aide in there, or a companion in the home? These are some of the things that you have to think about. Now, this is where you're going to be talking to the provider. You're going to ask the doctor, can your loved one get the doctor's going to write a prescription out for you to make sure your loved one get a case manager to come over and see what they cannot do on their own. So ask questions. That's number 2. Build a day-to-day daily perspective. What routines and challenges to expect? Sometimes we don't know. You want to put them in your routine. Just say that. You want to put them in your routine. Number 4 is assessing what caregiving really means for you. Your time, emotional load, and logistics. That means that how much time that you're going to be having to be a caregiver. Caregiving takes up a lot of your time. I was blessed when I was caring for my dad. He was in a home with me. I couldn't imagine if he was in his own home and I would have to go over there every day after work, make his meals, find someone to make his meals while I was working a 12-hour shift. okay? Because he couldn't cook on his own. So I would have had to have someone to make his meals, someone to help him with his daily activities, like making sure he took a bath, getting him dressed, all those things that a lot of times we don't recognize that our loved one need. Now, if you are here, could you let me know if you're a caregiver? Because it's very emotional when you become a caregiver for your loved one. Mine was so emotional. My dad was taking care of himself. And this is a while ago, but that was 1994. That's the reason I wrote this book as a caregiver. It's called The Ultimate Caregiver Guide. I wrote a book after I took care of my dad, and I saw all the things that had happened, that he didn't get all the services that he could have gotten if I had more knowledge of. Caregivers are so important. You are the most important person in that person's life because, they depend on you to help them with their care. There's no way that they're going to be able to survive without you. If you take that role on as a caregiver, know that they cannot survive without you. You are the most important person. And a lot of times when we're young and stuff, like, we don't know. We don't think it's important right now. My parents are deceased. A lot of times people think that they are not going to need help. But everyone, if you keep on living, you keep on breathing, something happens to you, you're going to need help. It's a given, okay? So that was I gave you number 4. That's what caregiving really means to you. If you want to be a caregiver, you have to have the love, compassion. You have to have some type of skills. You might want to even consider, asking for some training to be a caregiver for your loved one, especially if you're not used to doing certain things, because a caregiver does a lot of things. The hospital is expecting you to know a lot. I want to say the hospital is expecting you, if your parents are incontinent, they're expecting you to learn how to change them. Incontinent means they're making urinating on themselves. Or making a number 1 or a number 2. That's what I'm going to say. They're expecting you to do all of this. They're not thinking that you untrained. You're untrained. A lot of caregivers are untrained as far as being a caregiver for their loved one. They learn on the job, okay? And also, if this happens to you, put a break on it and tell the hospital, I have no idea how to provide care for my family, because then that's when they will allow you to get some training for the things you need to do for your family. Okay, don't think that you have to. Thank everyone for joining and the people that's in the back looking at me. Okay, I just want you guys to be knowledgeable, because I know from experience when I used to see patients come in from the ER and the family will come. Oh, my family, my mom, my dad, my aunt, not such and such is having a heart attack. And I'm their caregiver, and they look like they ain't had nobody caring for them. They skin is ashy, scale, bad sores, all that type of stuff. All of that on them. And they ain't took care of them, but now they're in the emergency room, want to beat up the staff for their loved ones because they ain't did what they supposed to do for their loved one. They ain't cleaned them up, coming in with them big bad sores in their butt on their behind, because they haven't been to the house to take care of them. You got to take care of your loved one. Do not expect the government to take care of your loved one. Do not expect that, because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You have to start thinking about this right now. If you have elderly parents, elderly aunts and uncles that you're going to be providing care for, get on top of this. Knowing that this should be something that you can do You know, if you have the heart of a caregiver heart is big. So you have to have a heart of a family caregiver. A lot of times we have a family member in our home, inside our community, in our family that's our caregivers, and they have a heart of a caregiver, and you could pinpoint who that person is that's going to be taking care of their loved one. You could pinpoint them. You could say, okay, join and have not seen gifts for a while. TikTok telling me people have joined and haven't sent a gift for a while. If you on my live and if I'm giving you any type of gems about being a caregiver, for your loved one, you can give hearts. You can tap the screen. Tapping is free. Tapping is totally free. Okay, so actually, I am on number 5 of my series on the caregiver journey. I'm doing a caregiver. Hey, Quisha, how you doing? I'm on a series of, I'm doing a 8-part series of the caregiver journey. And number 5 is how insights help you plan ahead, confidently and effectively. So you want to know the different insights of your family, and also making, like, I do a mapping of the people that I can have to help me take care of my loved one. Like when I was taking care of my dad, I established a list of people that could come and sit here with him for an hour, or come and be with him for 4 hours. You want to establish those type of things. It's concept mapping. Who all in your local area, if it's family members, if it's friends, if it's somebody from the church, because it's going to take a village to take care of of the elderly, of your loved ones, of your children. My sister has a son that has a traumatic brain injury. That's what they call it. He had a stroke 10 years ago. And she's taking care of. It's been 10 years. After 10 years of being a caregiver, you get compassion fatigue. You are done. You're tired. You are tired of being a caregiver. You're tired because your whole life surrounds around that person. You begin to not love them like it's your son, but because he depends so much on her. That's the same way for my dad. He depended so much on me. But after the 10th year, he had a stroke, and he came home for about 6 months with G2, oxygen, everything. And he needed 24-hour services. But by me being his daughter, I wanted to do it. But my financial situation wouldn't allow me to do it. I had to eventually find a nursing home that would provide the 24-hour services for my dad. However, I want to ask you this. What's the toughest thing you heard so far from a doctor? What's the toughest thing? If you're a caregiver out there, what is the toughest thing that you have heard from a doctor to tell you about yourself or your loved one or someone you're caring for? And have you found a support group? If you're a caregiver, have you found a support group? So being a caregiver is not a solo activity. It's not for the faint of heart, but also it's not a solo activity. You have to have help being a caregiver. You have to gather your family together to become a caregiver. I hope you're hearing me out there. I know, because when I think about the long time I took care of my dad, and I finally made a decision that after his stroke, he wasn't as coherent as he could be. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't even walk anymore. He was bedbound. He was in bed. Bedbound, couldn't do anything, couldn't turn himself or anything. And I had to make a decision. And the decision was for my life. Because I was a nurse at that time, working 12-hour shifts, and then come home, and try to provide care for him. That was a lot. That was very challenging. And it was heartbreaking for myself when I had to make the decision to put him in a long-term facility. And he lived there for Dad lived there for 2 years before he deceased. He had a stroke, and then he had another stroke, and he passed away. However, we did the best that we could do at the beginning. This is the journey of a caregiver. When you at your least best, and you're not understanding that your role as a caregiver. You want to understand the medical landscape of daily, like planning. What's the next step? I know sometimes, you want to be in a hurry if you and your loved one could sustain an injury or had a stroke, and I'm bringing them back home right now. Allow them to go to rehab. Because sometimes when you want them, if you want them to stay at home, and then you going to have to do everything. If your loved one, and I'm not telling, this is information only. I am a medical professional. Hey there, how you doing? I am a medical professional, but however, this is education and information only. And I'm going to just reset the room. My name is Mary Ann. I'm an e-nurse. I am the e-nurse hub, and I am doing a series on caregivers, the caregiver journey. So the caregiver journey is different for everyone. However, these 8 steps that I have is the same for everyone. That's the thing. If no one teaches you about these steps about being a caregiver, thanks for the heart, Quisha. The hearts, I appreciate it. You won't understand what's going on. And sometimes, thank you, Quisha, so much. I appreciate it, everything you do. So if you don't understand the different things that happen with your loved one, thank you for the popular, thank you for the Harmony, the community fest, I'm sorry. Thank you so much. So when when something happened like that, and you the primary person, because all of us know, if you have a mother, father, sister, uncle, brother, they gonna say, my sister is this, but here go my sister, she's gonna be my caregiver. Here go my daughter, here go my son. They gonna tell you. You gonna be that person for them. So I think we need to learn. This is a different skill set, but hey, if you have this in your back pocket, the knowledge that you need, so you can share with other family members. Maybe right now you got a family member and they're struggling being a caregiver, and don't know what to do. It's always, if you got insurance, call the case manager. If that loved one of yours and you got a family member that's having difficulty taking care of their loved one, have them to call their case manager. That person can help you. So don't feel like you're alone in all of this. It's programs out there to help us take care of our loved ones in their home, because guess what? The government don't want to do it. They're not taking care of people. So stop sitting there thinking that's going to happen, because it's not. I'm just being real. I got to be real up on here. They're not coming to help you now, but they will give you some training to help yourself. And to thank you, Quisha, thank you so much. They will give you some training. They will help you establish everything that you need for your loved ones, from supplies. They'll make sure you get medical supplies. They'll make sure you get, the right type of bed you need. Yes. But you have to start from step one. And step one, I want to say, is that you want to understand your loved one health condition. Stop saying you don't know what they got. You need to know what they have. You need to know what medical conditions they have that has caused them to deteriorate, has caused them not to be able to walk, not to eat, not to do their own activity of daily living. Activity of daily living means that I get up in the morning, I comb my hair, I wash my face, I cook for myself, I take care of myself. Now, if you got somebody at home that can't do that, then they need a home health aide at home, or they need a companion at home, or you're going to be doing it yourself. And to prevent that, you need to go to the doctor's appointment with them and let the doctor know that they can't do it. That's step one. And when I come back on Friday, I'm going to give you step two. Join, just tap the button. Let's tap the bell up top. I'm going to share step two with you on Friday. I come on Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday at 12:30 p.m. I'm talking about being a caregiver. I'm talking about being a family caregiver. And also, you want to know this for yourself. You never know what's going to happen to you. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this. Pop. Look, check this out. This is my book. It's called The Ultimate Caregiver Guide, 20 Things You Must Know, by Marianne Cassell Johnson. Yes, it's my book. It's on Amazon. Go to Amazon and get it, because if you got a loved one that's a caregiver, or if you're a caregiver and you still not feeling, I don't understand this thing. I got so much stuff in here that it's 20 things you need to know that will take you to the next level of your caregiver journey. But you have to be ready for it. It tells you, because we have to take care of that, we have to take care of the skin. We have to do everything. I will get it. Oh, okay, Krisha, thank you. What I'm saying is, when my dad was with me, he didn't have not one bed sore, and his skin stays beautiful. I'm just saying that. His skin was intact. He didn't have any sores. I actually got my older sister to become his, and she got paid for becoming his companion, his home health aide in the home. Because at the time she wasn't working, and so I had the doctor to write the script, and she went and got her training to become her dad's caregiver in my home, and I didn't get paid for that. That part of it I didn't get paid for. I didn't get paid at all. I got paid with love. Okay. I got paid with love, but that's all good, you know what I mean? Because, he was my dad, and I loved him unconditionally, because I have a caregiver heart. I've been a nurse over 35 years, caring for other people. So why I can't care for my daddy? All right. Well, I can't care for my other loved ones. I care for my sister, when she had breast cancer and she passed away. That's the heart of a caregiver. So again, if you want to be a heart of a caregiver, keep coming to this platform and listening to me, because I'm just sharing. Now, one of the things, let me take you to the point I want to make. I really wish that when I was a caregiver, they had this, what we call digital online passive income. Because when I was caring for my dad, I worked 12-hour shifts, 3 days out of the week. So my shift for caring for him was when I came back home, and I worked the night shift, 7 p to 7 a. And at the time I was married, I had my husband was a good guy, because he helped me take care of Dad, and they was friends. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I would never take that from him. I have to go. I stop back to the show. Yes. Oh, thank you for stopping back to support. You always do that. You know, I would love when your room come. Let me know, Quisha, because I definitely will be there to support you. Because you always come back here and support me, and I really appreciate that your support. You know, that's what it's all about, supporting each other on this platform. So as I continue my journey of now being a retired nurse from over 35 years and moving forward, and I was forced to retire. I didn't want to retire. I ain't going to say I wanted to retire. I was forced to retire due to injury, a diagnosis. And so now, as I move forward, and as you being a caregiver, I know it's hard to be a caregiver, especially when you have to work a full-time job and not being able to see everything that go on with your loved ones, and not being able to take them to their doctor's appointment, and sitting there with them, being there for them. It takes a lot. And the frustration of being a caregiver, they call you and tell you something happened. I know you can have family medical leave of absence. Make sure you do that for yourself. That's so important. If you're a caregiver, it's a law that they have to give you that 12 weeks. But that's with no pay. Okay, just know that. That's 12 family medical leave is without pay. But you must be on that job for a whole year. You got to be, if you're working, you have to be on that job for a whole year in order to get the family medical leave of absence. It's not guaranteed. Only way it's guaranteed if you've been there the whole 12 for 1 year, okay? So know the rules and regulation. If you're working for someone, just know the rules and regulations when it comes to family MLA. If you're a caregiver. So as I continue my journey now for my own self, and being able to designate, if I need to designate a caregiver. Thank God right now I'm able to take care of my own self. I don't have an issue. The diagnosis was a bad diagnosis when I got it in November, but now I am doing better. No, I'm not going back to nobody's job. No, I'm not working as a nurse on nobody's job. I'm working for myself now, and I'm doing passive income online. So this is a part of my passive income to encourage caregivers that if you have to give up your job, if you have to be able to give up a job, if you have to give up a job, it's time to think about a passive income. You can do what I'm doing in 2 hours and have the rest of the day to yourself, or the rest of the day to help your loved ones in the caregiver arena. If you're thinking about passive income, I'm working with Legacy Builders Program. And it's a great program to have. If you want to look at it, you can put yes in the comment, and I'll send you the information. Now, with this information comes with, an email. In order to get, if you put yes in the comment, I'll send you the information, and it will be my website. And also, that means that you're going to be sharing. You don't have to do anything. You'll be sharing your email with me. Now, with this passive income, it's an earning. You have to understand that when you get in a position that has caused you frustration, your emotions all in different way, that you don't understand what's going on, and you want to be that person for your loved one. Oh man, I wish I had this when I was, when my dad was alive. I was tired, fatigued, exhausted, because I had a whole house. And then, I had my sister at the time. My sister went to prison. I had her 4 kids and my 2. 6 kids, taking care of daddy and a husband. I was exhausted. It was a time of my life that if it wasn't for God, I'm going to say that. He allowed me to get through that. If it wasn't for God, grace and mercy to have me to get through that part of my life. Because I had my sister 4 children because I didn't want my nieces and nephews to go to the system. Because once they're in the system, they don't want to give you your kids back. Okay, I'm going to say this. Okay, my sister made a mistake. She made a mistake. Who haven't made a mistake? But she made a big mistake. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. And she made a mistake, and she was there for a year and a half. I think she had to do 2, but she only stayed a year and a half. So I had her babies. And I sent them all to school. And today they grown people now. They always remind me, thank you, Auntie, for taking care of us. Thank you, Auntie, for not letting us go to the system. You know, and I didn't get any income then. It's not, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's not always about the income. It's about serving. It's about loving your family, loving your loved ones. It's not always about, you know, I got to get money for this, I got to get money for that. No, Because if God tell you you're a servant, all of us got to serve and do something. Ain't nothing free. However, if you got family, you got friends, close friends, you got people that love you, and you want to help taking care of them, do it. Nothing's wrong with it. Help take care of your family. Help take care of your friends. It's help available, and you are not alone. I will say again, caregiving is not a solo activity. It comes with family. It comes with friends. It comes with everything you need, but you got to ask for it. Closed mouth don't get fed. So if you got this going on in your life right now, ask for help. Ask for help. Now, I'm going to say this about my passive income with Legacy Builders Program. And that means that I would like for you to, if you want to be involved in getting some, learning how to do digital attractive marketing, income, and learning how to do come on live and talk about your story, because everything I'm sharing right now is my story. It is nobody else's story. This is Mary Ann's eNurse Hub story that I'm sharing, and I want to share it because this platform has allowed us to be able to come on here and share our stories, tell people what we're doing. Now, you got to be truthful, but you could go to my profile and see my stuff. And I just put up my book. You could go to Amazon and read my stuff. I'm going to be real every time. I'm going to share what I need to share. And tell you the things that I need to tell you. Let you know. Maybe that's the right word. Let you know. And again, if you put regarding to the Legacy Builders Program, it is a program that I use for income. I'm retired. Yeah, I get a retirement check. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, I get what I'm supposed to get because I worked for 35 years. So let's just put it out there. But at the end of the day, I like traveling. I haven't been anywhere. I was from 2021 to 24, I traveled the world. And that's what I enjoy doing. And so I want to go back to what I enjoy doing is traveling. So I do this for passive income. Now, if you want to do something for passive income, it's your time. Hit me up. Drop ready a comment in my if you drop a comment below and say yes. You don't have to. You can put yes if you want to see what Legacy Builders is about. We're about to have a webinar. Let me just go to it. I think the webinar, let me double check before I get off of here. Thank you guys for so much for coming, checking me out. Let me see when the webinar is. So, calendar. One second. Today is July the 2nd. Actually, the webinar was today. Yeah, I'm sorry. The webinar was today. I missed it. July the 2nd at 11 a.m. That happened. So I missed the webinar. Let's see. They usually do it sometimes at 11, sometimes at 7 p.m. So you can't do the webinar. However, you can get the blueprint. If you put yes in the comment, you want to take a look at the blueprint for passive income with Legacy Builders program. You can do that as well. All right. So this is my time. My time is done. I thank every and last one of you guys for coming on my platform and, saying, giving me hearts if you gave hearts. I thank you for that as well. I'll be back on Friday at 12:30 p.m. to give you part 2 of the caregiver journey. Thank you for spending the time with me today. If you're ready for a tool to lighten the load and build purposeful income, drop ready in the comment, and I'll send you details to join the Legacy Builders program so you don't have to walk alone on this caregiving journey alone. And so with that being said, I'll see you guys on Friday. Have a great and pleasant day on Wednesday. And I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my day. Deuces.